Hello friends, and welcome to the tutorial for week 7. We're going to be completing an alternate puff stitch pattern today for the next block in our Heirloom Afghan crochet along. The puff stitch is very easy, it's very fun, and I want to make sure that you enjoy it. We're going to start this row. I've already started a block. Do you see the block I've started here of our alternate puff stitches? Don't they look like little cabbages in a row in a garden? Aren't those sweet? I've already completed several rows here, and I'm going to show you a few rows that you can practice so that when we get together to complete our block, you're comfortable with the stitch. So flipping this back over, we're actually working on a row of single crochet. Our last row was a whole row of single crochet, and so we're going to be working in these single crochets, and we're going to make sure that when we work in these stitches, we work in the front loops and the back loops. We want to make sure we go through both, okay? So to start this row, we're going to single crochet in the first 2 single crochet. So I'm going to put 1 single crochet here, and I'm going to put 1 single crochet here. Okay, now let's work on how we're going to do our puff stitch. This is a very easy, very fun stitch. Just have really nice, consistent tension, and know that it may look harder than it really is. It really is fun. We're going to be working in this very next stitch, and according to our instructions, we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop 3 times in the very same stitch. So let me show you how that looks. We're going to yarn over, go into our stitch, making sure we go through both the front loop and the back loop, and we're going to grab our yarn and we're going to pull it through. And how I just like to just tug it just a little bit so they're kind of even, okay? We're going to do that 2 more times in that very same stitch. So yarn over, we're going to go back into that stitch, grab our yarn and pull up a loop. And now we've got 5 loops on our stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've done that twice. We're going to do it 1 more time because our instructions say that we need to do this 3 times. So yarn over, back into that very same stitch, grab our yarn and pull it through. We've got 7 of them now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is going to be our puff stitch. The next step that we want to take to make our puff stitch is we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull our hook through all 7 loops on our hook, just like that. And that makes our puff stitch. Now we're not going to close it off with a chain. We're going to immediately go right into the very next stitch and complete a single crochet. And when we do that, it pulls all of that work back down to this level down here. We had those loops kind of high before, and now we've pulled them down. And when we do that, it makes it puff out with a little puff on this side of our work. So we've got a single crochet here that we just completed to create our puff. We're going to do 1 in each of the next 2 stitches so that we'll have 3 total. So this is 1 single crochet. We're going to do a single crochet in the next stitch. That's 2. We're going to do a single crochet in the next stitch. That's 3. So we've got our puff stitch and 3 single crochet. In our very next stitch here, we're going to do another puff stitch. So we're going to yarn over, go into our stitch, making sure we go through both the front and the back loop. We're going to grab our yarn and pull it through. We've got 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and go into that same stitch and grab our yarn and pull it back through. So now we've got 5 loops on our hook. 1 more time. We're going to yarn over, go back into that same stitch, and grab our yarn and pull it up through. And now we have 7 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 7 loops. We're going to go to our very next stitch from our previous row. We're going to complete a single crochet, and that just kind of finishes off our puff stitch. Then we're going to put a single crochet in the next stitch and a single crochet in the next stitch. So we're always going to end up with 3 single crochet in between our puff stitches. Let's do one more puff stitch to practice here, and then we'll flip the work over and I'll show you how that looks. We're going to work in our very next stitch. We're going to yarn over, go into our stitch, making sure we go through both the front loop and the back loop. Grab our yarn and pull it back through so that we have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, go back into that same stitch. Grab our yarn and pull it through. We have 5 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over one more time and go in. Grab our yarn and pull it back up through so that we have 7 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and very carefully pull our hook through all 7 loops that are on our hook. We're going to go to our very next stitch and put in a single crochet, and that kind of finishes off our puff. Single crochet in the next stitch and single crochet in the next stitch. So again, we've completed our puff, and then we do 3 single crochet. Let's turn our work over. And here we have these sweet 3 little puff stitches that we've worked on. I'm going to talk you through to the end of the row and then how to complete the next row across, and I want you to practice those so when we get together later in the week to work on the entire block, you're comfortable with this stitch. We've completed our 3 single crochet. We're going to do a puff stitch right here in this next stitch. Yarn over, go into our stitch, and grab our yarn and pull it back through for a loop. We've got 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, go into our stitch, grab our yarn and pull it back through again. That's the second time we've done it. And now we've got 5 loops on our hook. We're going to do it one more time. Yarn over, into our stitch, grabbing our yarn and pulling it up through. And now we have 7 loops on our hook. And all 3 times we've done that, we've done it in the same stitch from the prior row, right here. We're going to yarn over, and if you turn your hook down, it should slide through easily, and let all of those 7 loops go off of the hook. We're going to immediately go right to the very next stitch over and complete a single crochet. Single crochet in the next stitch and single crochet in the next stitch. So that means we have a puff and then 3 single crochet. We're going to complete a puff in the next stitch right here. Over, into the stitch, making sure you go through both the front loop and the back loop. Grab your yarn and pull it up through. You've got 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go back into that same stitch, and grab your yarn and pull it through. You've got 5 loops on your hook. One more time, you're going to yarn over, go into that same stitch, grab your yarn and pull it up through. You've got 7 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 7 loops on your hook. That creates your puff. And we're going to go right to the very next stitch and complete a single crochet, and then a single crochet in the next stitch, and a single crochet in the next stitch. Okay, we have 3 stitches left to work in from our previous row. When we started this row, we did 2 single crochet and then we did a puff. We still have these 3, so we're going to do a puff and then end with 2 single crochet so it's balanced on each side. So in this stitch right here, we're going to complete another puff stitch. So yarn over, go into your stitch, grab your yarn and pull it up through. That's 1. Yarn over into the same stitch. Grab your yarn and pull up a loop. That's 2. Yarn over, go into the same stitch. Yarn over and grab that and pull it through. That's your 3rd time. You've done that 3 times now, and you have your 7 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 7 loops on your hook. And now we're just going to do 2 single crochet, 1 in each stitch from the prior row. There's 1 and there's 2. You can chain 1 to turn your work, and let's turn that over and see how it looks. We have 6 little puff stitches all the way across that row. So now we need to do a row of single crochet in every stitch across so we can do our next row, which will alternate. They'll be in between, and they just look like little rows of cabbage. So to do that, we've completed our chain 1 and turn, and we're just going to start right here in our very first single crochet from the previous row, and we're just going to complete a single crochet. So there's 1. We're going to go into our next one and do a single crochet. There's 2. Now, the very top of our puff stitch right here, if I fold this forward and you look, there's a little V there. That's a stitch. You want to make sure that you don't skip that or don't forget that, and make sure when you work in it you go through both the front loop and the back loop. So we're just going to insert our hook there and get both of those. Pull it back through and complete a single crochet there. Now we know we've got 3 single crochet in between, so we're going to put a single crochet in each one of those across. And here we've come to our next little puff stitch. There's our V right there. Make sure we get that V and complete a single crochet. So I'm going to do this all the way across, and this will give us our next row. And then we'll be able to turn our work over and do another row of our cute little puff stitch cabbages. I think they're so adorable. I can't wait to see everyone's blocks so we can see what color you did them in and see what they look like to you. If you're working with yellow, they might look like little bits of popcorn or maybe little corn pop cereal. Wouldn't that look cute? We'll see what they look like. But we're just going to work single crochet all the way across, making sure you get that top stitch there for your puff stitch. Make sure you get the very last 2 single crochet at the end of your row there. Okay, friends, practice your puff stitch, practice becoming familiar with where you're going to put your single crochets for your in-between rows, and I will see you later in the week when we get together and we will work on our entire block together. Until I see you then, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.